Hey there. This is yeah, just like the title says, this is me trying to get my painting groove back to at least where it was before pandemic. Um, the whole during the whole pandemic, I had no inspiration to at all to paint anything because most of the stuff I do is for gaming, like for Warhammer, well AOS now it's called Age of Sigmar, or for Warhammer 40K, and with no events to go to, and not even any casual things to do, my painting enthusiasm kind of went out the window. So, to try and get my painting groove back, we're going to, and before I get into anything, into some serious, I would couple of like a 1/6 scale Mandalorian I want to do. But before I dive into that, I want to definitely get my get that thing out of my way. Actually, there might not be a bad place. Um, I want to get geez, that's way too much. I gotta get the lighting situation figured out. Yeah, okay. A little on me and not too bright in my eyes. All right. So, oh yeah, a little practicing I want to do. So we're gonna start with. Oops, I gotta get this camera thing right. We are gonna start with this guy, the Viking Barbarian. I 3D printed him. So we're gonna start there, and let's see if we can get him. Zoomed in. I'm trying to get this stuff adjusted. So adjust me down. Yes. Actually, let's go and put me back up here in the corner. I like it. Put me in the corner. Nobody puts baby in a corner. All right. So now I also have to get used to adjusting for this. So forgive me if he ends up out of frame on some points because I'm trying to get everything out. See, well, now that I changed the zoom, changed where I'm trying to put the little X there, so I try and remember to keep him in frame. So that's pretty close. That's still pretty close. All right. So we're also going to be, I'm going to be trying out my wet palette. I already painted a wet palette. We'll see how that works out. We got nice little basic keys into. This guy was a paint, gave me little fits printing. For some reason, the first time I printed, this leg did not print. Don't know what caused it. Everything around it printed. It printed, didn't print from here, from this little spot right here down, didn't print. Everything else printed. Everything around it printed. Just that didn't print. So that was no good. So then I went to print another one. And then this, oh, yeah, this axe didn't print. Here, it's reversed, so I gotta remember. So to me, this is the right hand side. This axe, well, the axe. This is the weirdest thing. The axe printed, but none of but this hunk of handle didn't print, and I think maybe part of the hand didn't print. So there's like about inch and a half of this didn't print. Whole axe head printed. I think I may even still have, might have it. I still have it. Nope, it's not my pile. But yeah, like the axe head printed. It was the weirdest thing. So, all right. So he's got. Oh my god, I gotta get used to this. All right. So he's got a fur cape. which goes down into like probably like tan, like it would essentially be leather. It's got uh, this would be cloth, you know, a little bit here, on there. The pauldrons, I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do there, but I think what this is gonna be, I'm gonna do the cloth in red with probably a gold trim because this is Berserker reasons I don't want to stand out because they're like, you know, like that. The fur is probably going to be the actual fur. It's probably going to be a darker brown, like you know, like a bear hide, and then this part will be lighter tanned leather. Uh, the the his waist here will probably be red with gold trim, maybe bronze um, center, wood handles on the axes. Dagger isn't very well defined, but we'll work on that. Probably some sort of like a blondish hair. I think is probably the direction we're going. So we can let's see, where do I want to start? Well, let's start with the part that's probably the least easy to mess up. Or at least what I think is going to be the least easy to mess up, and that's going to be his cloak, or the fur. So we will come over. Let's see if I can get it in. Get it in there. I have, this is a paint holder. It's done by a friend of mine, club member from Ordo Fanaticus, Brian. 3D printed that. It's awesome. So let me see. Start with lighter brown. Yeah, I think so. Start with lighter brown and work our way up. I have a paint shaker, but I don't know how loud that would be on video. Kind of. And the ground is probably going to be kind of a little bit, maybe a little mix of, you know, snow with bare rock. We'll worry about the base when we get to that part. Let's see. How hard is he going to be to paint around? I never did. It's not. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. Honest, I mostly use Citadel paints because they're easy. This is a brush cleaner. It's great. Company doesn't make this anymore. Doesn't make the little pads that go in here anymore. And when I had to replace them, I didn't know that they had stopped production. And I emailed the company like, "Hey, I have these on orders, but you know they have no idea when they're supposed to be. I mean, did you guys discontinue them because I can't find these things anywhere." And they emailed back said, "Yeah, these are they unfortunately, yeah, they were discontinued." but their customer service people were like, "Hey, we can look and see if we have any left in the warehouse. Do you want them?" I'm like, "Heck yeah!" So they email you back, said, "Yeah, but they found some and what my address was." So I emailed them back my address, fully expecting to get some sort of like bill or something, like an invoice of some sort. Be like, "Hey, if you want this, this is what's gonna come." Instead, one day in the mail, I received a package, and it was like, I think, like eight. Was it eight? No, it was more than that. Like 10 baggies. And they have two pads each in them, and oh, I'm already out of frame. Jeez, way to go. And the company just sent them to me for free. And it was like, wow. And the things last for forever. So, jeez, I gotta get it. I gotta get back used to painting. Now I've given myself the extra burden of doing it in a specific way. I'm doing it on camera. So smart of me. But I figure this might be one way to keep my motivation up. Do the painting. If I'm committing. For the X, genius. I don't have to worry. Don't have to look at the screen. That's fine. Put the X on the table so you know where the camera was looking. So do this, and then this dries. Thinking I'm gonna hit it with a wash. And maybe a couple of layers. Now, I'm trying to decide if I want to do a am I thinking? Um, I'm gonna go over parts of it um, in a darker brown because I mean, obviously, real fur is not totally uniform in color. used to watch painting streams from a guy named Brandon Miner. He's a painter for Frontline Gaming, and then doing some of his own commission stuff, private commission stuff, and then stopped doing the painting stream. Which was kind of disappointing because he was a really good painter, really good at explaining what he was doing. Kind of disappointed that he stopped streaming. But obviously, it was something that just wasn't floating his boat anymore. But man, I'm 15 minutes into the stream, probably about 5 minutes into actually painting, and I understand so I'll probably do the fur on the bottom part, will probably be a different color. So it probably wouldn't have come from the same mail. Well, yeah. Here's your first mistake of the evening. Fortunately, the color I'm going to paint over those axes is going to be a lot darker than that brown, so it doesn't matter. That and these colors tend. It's a great thing about acrylics for the most part. They tend to cover really well. So even if you make a mistake, it does not have to be a tragedy. Avoid it if you can. But stuff happens. Let's get back in frame. Let's see. Okay. Just the tip. There's your pro tip. Just the tip. Sometimes you can just you're not even brushing. You're just pushing um, the paint on. You're not brushing it. You're just pushing it into place. Figure out exactly what's going on right there. That's assuming it's gonna be some sort of like the leather part of that underneath of there. Let's see. So I think it's probably a leather cloak with the fur cloak. Over the top. Okay. Yeah, let's see this bear claw is tied on to the top. Well, pal was doing his job. He is definitely not drying out. For sure. Good. Let's see, there's a, oh, probably hard to see on the camera, especially since I don't have it. There's a little spot. Okay. I'm trying to keep an eye on chat too, so she can be decided to ask any questions or be like, hey, you're in a frame, bozo. Try and keep up. Let's see what happens. Let's see there. Let's see. Yeah. Got one. There's a white spot. Right. Push the paint in, get it in there. So in here, I'm gonna try and get around this stuff and try and get in. Now, see, like we're gonna paint this a different color. This fur is gonna be a different color. We'll paint this darker. This is probably gonna get a second coat. Actually, this is probably gonna get a wash as opposed to a second coat. And then I'll probably dry brush. A little bit of the white showing through is actually good for the fur. It gives it a much more natural look. It lightens up the different layers of fur are going to be different. Going to be different. I mean, I don't know all the sciencey stuff behind it. I just know. I mean, if you look at any animal, from a certain distance, their fur looks uniform. But when you get up close, you can see little variations. For the X Junior, that's where the camera is. Great thing is, I have found what's that software. Like, well, it's spelled Iruin, but it's IRUIN. It's free. Let's turn your phone camera into a webcam. Since most phone cameras are pretty good anymore, makes for a pretty good webcam. Now there's other things I could do with this, even in the dry brushing stages, where I could mix some colors. But like I said, I'm just trying to get my basic skills back down. I don't even, you know, my brush technique back down. Get, for just a second here. Everybody stay. Okay. Come on. Get your key spot. There you go. Said I'm painting. It's really low paint. Not really a heavy prescription. It's just something to keep my eyes relaxed. Especially since I'm going to be doing. And out of frame already. Jeez Louise. Alright. There we go. Let's spin that tip up. Point back on it. great thing about the cleaner also that it's impregnated with a conditioner that also partially conditions the brushes, or partially conditions the brushes. It conditions them when you clean them. So, what my Facebook notification? Let's close Facebook. Oh. Over the X Junior, so it's there. Okay. And we're getting a bit on the handle part there, but it's a spot. Seen. But alright, we're gonna paint over the handle with a darker brown anyway, so it's not super critical. Besides, that's what multiple layers are for. Multiple coats. Doesn't cover on the first pass, it probably will on the second. And we're gonna paint the claw a different color too. The fur for the claw. It's not big, generally darker fur if I remember correctly. God, keep it in the X, genius. Got all the trouble to put it there and then forget to use it. This is part trying to figure out what's supposed to be fur and what's supposed to be his hair. I don't say this is a pretty nice model for a free STL, so I got this on with my mini factory. Great site. Like it. Got one of the stuff off of there. Okay, let's see. That's okay. The brown will go over it. The tan color will go over it. Might take a couple coats, but it'll go over it. Let's see. Get this. Okay. I'm going to switch brushes. What do I do after this? Some colors of different brushes because I gotta weasel it into a fairly tiny spot. Just trying to make sure my stain frame doesn't do me good to do a painting stream if no one can see what I'm painting. The great thing about acrylics, dry quick. to worry about. Access. Well, I mean, still worry about accidentally sticking your hand in wet paint, but not nearly as much of a concern as when you're dealing with like enamels and lacquers and stuff. Using that stuff when I was younger with model cars, because I mean, really, testers was the only paint you could really ever find. Okay, let's see. Weirdly stands out. So I do believe that's going to be the other part underneath. That's going to be leather and some sort of band. There's an arm in there, another band. Okay. Now, keep into his home. All right. All right. Yeah, this thing. Pad is it's a scrubby pad impregnated with a conditioner and a cleaner and stuff like that. So you get the majority, get the majority of the paint off. In the water. And I only recommend doing that if you're using like acrylic paints after you know, because even like the enamels and stuff and the lacquers, the stuff you have to clean them with. Yeah, remember it's acrylic, it's water based. So once you get the paint off, all you're really dealing with is water. Okay. Super worried about the claw. If I accidentally get some of it, it's gonna get a couple different colors. So let's figure that out. Since we're not worried about going up the sides of them, they're gonna get darker colors too, I'm guessing. And once again, like I said, most things you can cover up with a couple of coats. Worst case scenario, you go in and get like is it ceramite white? Base coats. Things Citadel base coats. I get to cloak. That's right. They kept her breathing. Sure, steam breathe. Alright. Look it over, see if there's anything for sure. Missed. It's almost without fail. What you can get sometimes is you go over a spot. You know you went over it. What happens is you get like a little bubble or something. It's really weird. And the bubble will pop and leave a, leave an unpainted spot. And you're like, how did I not paint that space? I know I painted that space. Okay. So we got a pretty smooth there. And the boots will probably be a might do them like almost like, oh, that fur's a little too thick to be like a fox or something. That's sitting that in. It's not really sitting that way. Okay. Alright. Nope. It's not. See? That spot. Right there. Big old white spot. Oh, there's another white spot on the other side. See, all kinds of things you can see. So I just went over there and there's still, I just went over that part and there's still a speck of white hanging out. I think we got it all. So we'll get closer into that hair there. And I'm gonna get practice in. So when I start painting my AOS army, which is the Seraphon, formerly known as Lizardman army. I got my eye for the detail breaks and stuff back, and okay. Use that keyway, it holds him up. All right. So I'm going to let have some time to dry while we figure out. I think go here. You can always darken it up with some black. Let's see if I have any. This is the other thing. I haven't painted in so long. I'm not 100% sure what I have available color. Just in case. Oh, damn. Oh, geez, almost another one. What is this? Oh, there. Ethermatic blue. I do have some of the contrast paints from Citadel. They're actually, the contrast paints are really nice. They do cover really well. Zomcop, yeah, he's a big boy. He's slightly scaled up from the original file, only about 30%. I wanted to make sure I had something that was, big enough to be easily seen. And also, since I'm trying to get my painting groove back, as it were, I wanted something that wasn't too hard for me to pick out details on. I'll save that for when I start getting back into it's camera. Little guys like this, like the Baby Yoda from my small Mandalorian model. And then of course I have the real thing is getting back into setup for painting my AOS stuff. So like 28 mil minis. So let's see how this brown looks. That brown is dog meat is what that brown is. That has changed colors. That's green now. That's not good. Oh, you just got back from the GW store? I haven't been I haven't been in a game store in God, since it's been a year, since last April. I think that was the last time I was in it. Yeah, about that. Yeah. So it's right before the whole lockdown here in Oregon before they just decided to lock down everything. Well, that's hot garbage. That brown's going in the garbage can. All right, on to a different brown. So what'd you pick up at the GW store? Fucking models, rule books, paint. Oh yeah, that's I haven't quite gotten into Underworld, but yeah, they've been definitely putting out. GW's definitely been going ham with producing some really, intensely good looking models lately. I might lighten that up as opposed to. Oh, let's see. Do I lighten that up? Actually, you know what? Drop a little, drop it. Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah. You'd be surprised how many people, or you might not be surprised. You probably know several that that they could care less about the gaming, and it's just the miniatures for painting and stuff. It's I got started in it because I worked in a game store, and kind of had to since we were carrying it, I kind of had to learn how to play, and my cousin got into it because all he wanted to do was paint works. Just 40 those for the 40K works. This is going way back in the Wayback Machine for the models. This is 1998, and he's just like, wow, these are just he's like, I could care less about the game. These models are just outstanding. So, and then he got suckered into actually, learning how to play. and and if you really like watching some painting, he's got a YouTube channel, the 40K Works. So just babbling about it while I grab a link. Um, because he said, I'm extremely middle of the road, and he's a much better painter than I am. Let me go ahead and throw this. Throw this. Okay. Okay, well, let me. Okay. Why won't you let me put the link in? Okay. Wow. Yeah. Wait, this is okay. Well, apparently I have to figure out how to put links in my own channel, apparently, for some reason. Let's see. Maybe I had something set that. Oh man, see, I took a year off, or not a year. I took like 3 months off from streaming, and now I can't remember how to run anything. All right, well, let's see. Yeah, but yeah, you want to check it out? It's YouTube, and it's the 40K Orcs, DA 40K, and then it works. Um, does really good work. I think that'll work. I can always make it darker. Yeah, so what? Yeah, it's yeah, yeah, conversions and stuff like that is just, it's crazy. The stuff that I've seen people come up with it, and they're great models for doing it. I mean, for the most part, it's you get a lot of usually a lot of bits to work with, and especially now that they've been doing a lot of their stuff with CAD, spacing stuff on sprues, and you get much more elaborate poses. I don't know if that's not dark enough to be. Um, so it's pretty cool. And yeah, Mark, who's the guy, the yeah, you'd be amazed what you can do, and you start looking through the bits, and you start kind of just like letting kind of let your imagination go. It's amazing. Like I said, he's my cousin over there, the 40K Orcs. Like a vast majority of his orc army are conversions or just flat scratch builds. Um, it especially the orcs. The orcs, because it's you just go ape. Whatever comes to mind is pretty much legal. Um, well, you don't play the game, so you don't care about that. But um, But yeah, that army is a bits builder's dream. But you can do it. Most all the armies um, really lend themselves it's to one point or another of conversions for other models or just it's really interesting what you can get to when you're just putting when you're especially when you're in the position where you're not worried about having to a model in a certain pose or having to be within a certain footprint or anything like that. You just do whatever you want. It it's it can be pretty outlandish. And then they're also just beautiful miniatures to paint for the most part. I mean, GW does have a few dogs in there, but anything they've produced in say the last 10 or so years has just been absolutely gorgeous. Oh yeah, see a rat ogre head on a clan rat body. That's amazing. It's good stuff. You know, more the more stuff you do, you know the easier it gets, the crazier the ideas can go. I do some converting and stuff, but not nearly as much as some of the people that I play with. There are some of those guys that go out and they'll spend a bunch of money on kits because they're like, okay, I need this bit from this kit to do. It's like, okay, I don't have that kind of free income to just be like, hey, I'm gonna spend $60 on a box because I need that one arm off that guy. That is the one downside of GW having gotten out of the bits business. Because you used to be able to order bits directly from GW. And it was pretty good. You could almost order anything. Very few things you couldn't actually get your hands on. Slightly darker brown for this lower part, because obviously, even in the Netherlands, Scandinavia, Norway, their bears are not big enough to be a full outfit. But yeah, uh, for the most part, I found that the painting can be very relaxing, especially once you start getting into the once you start getting in a groove. Over the X, Junior, or else no one can see what you're doing. here. And do you know one thing? I may have to use a little bit of PVA glue. Glue him in the base and use my candle. It, I just don't like trying to paint around the model when I go to do the base. So I tend to try and paint them not on their bases, although this guy to get put on his base. At least a little bit. Come on, come on, cooperate. Come on, you pile of resin. Fight me. That kind of action, I can go wake up my kids. Or go talk to my wife. One of the two. There. Get spots that I see them. I have to work on that. I don't know. Actually, the lighting seems to be okay. Painting little tiny spots. Get little spots like here. It's not so much a brush or a stroke that you're using. Just kind of pushing. Just poking the paint in there. Just gonna push it onto a spot. Alright. Let's see, I'm gonna do this bear claw. Same color. Okay. things can't be fixed, but if you're careful, yeah, things you have to go back and fix, it makes everything easier. Be careful in here around the light other shadows. Here, get there, but okay. Set a couple coats. Will help hide the crime. Okay. Oops. No. It's on my fingers. My fingers. It's something that wants. Oh, here's one. So wipe anything off. Oh, white stripy mist here. Maybe a white stripy mist here once again. In the frame, Sparky. No one else can see what you're doing. All right. So, let's see. It's definitely not. I think. Attached. Bring the white leather. Some sort of strapping. Not sure what. We have to figure that one out when we get to it. Okay. Let's see here. I'll paint those that color. I think so. The frame, Junior in the frame. Paint department. Another thing, you can control the amount of paint on your brush. It's a lot easier to put paint where you want it. So, one of those things I gotta get back. Back in the habit of recognizing. Where I am, what I'm doing. Think about some of these. Okay. Trying to figure out what's the boot. I think I got that figured out. It's covering up. Yes. What do you need, on? Let's get this other boot done, and let's see. In the frame, Junior. In the frame. And be careful when you get like wraps. Get two in there. I think that was life. But small incident with cats. So cat. Good. Good. This bitty. 14 years old, I think. 14, 15. And the last few years, we kept her inside. She was an outdoor kitty. Started keeping her inside. And she seemed okay with it. And then last night, coming back in and taking the trash out the curb, bolted. Has not been seen since. And normally I wouldn't worry about it, but when I went to go get her, as soon as I got close to her, she took off again. Really unusual for that guy. Not really. Yep. Keeping cat isn't like that. She wants to be held petted when she wants it. She usually won't just, take off. And haven't seen hide nor hair. I seem to do it pretty well. I don't know how that's actually keeping it for a moment. Oh, she reminded me that I didn't do something else. In the living room and folded all the laundry. Be mad about it now. And I'm sure I'll find out. That's alright. I'm not too worried about it. Okay, then learn the sorcery of folding fitted sheets. So I can do the laundry. That show anything, I'll tell you. Alright. Oh. Okay. Let's see. No, that makes sense. Since I can. And I'm wide. So I can't I post a link. That doesn't make sense. Alrighty. There's our bad boy. As he sits right now. Think about what we want to do next. What we'll do next is our touch-up work. Belle's definitely doing its job. It's definitely staying with it, which is good. I think this will be the hardest part. Remember to keep this in front also because sometimes I paint certain details. Try to drag the model to my face. Which just doesn't work for this. Okay. think next is we're going to put a wash on that. I think we're going to go with a good old-fashioned Agrax Earthshade. It's going to be the winner for this. Let's see. See if I remember how to do this. Okay, let's. Okay, let's. All right. Okay, so that does work. Okay, good. All right. So I have remembered how to do stuff. Cool, cool. All right. Okay. Maybe we do it. Oops. Double check something. Yes. Oh, I needed to put it. I needed to do it from over there. See, these are the things you forget when you haven't streamed in a while. You forget how crap works. Oh man. Okay. You need something?
Do you mind if I run to Carolyn's? I know. Stop streaming. No, it's fine. Yeah, I didn't think I would be so sad. Well,
If you want. But yes, if you, yeah, go ahead. Okay. Crisis pseudo averted and was the cat thing. Kind of figured it was. Weird, I haven't done anything. What trouble could I possibly be in? On to the wash. Come to me with the brush. Come to me. There we go. There. And practice. In the frame, in the frame. Let's just try. We will go back over. Essentially using a dry brush technique. Back over its fur. The set of colors XV88, but this brown that we used. Should stop cranking on the steering wheel. Yeah, it's steering like that. Anyway. Something that office window open, I can hear everything that goes on outside. Okay. Let's see how that. Kind of get it in there a little, little thicker than you normally would. So I'm gonna give the kind of really get a grimy, but you know, seriously lived in look. It's not like this guy was sending this thing out to get dry cleaned. There's no Martinizers in the banking world. Gather. I don't want you in there. I want you. Come on. That's the great thing about like the washes. You can, if they do puddle a little too much in one spot or another, you can just kind of like wick it up with the brush. All right. Okay, back to black. That's a darker shade of him. Lots of green for my dark angels. Assorted things. Yeah. All right. Anyway. All right. Okay. Oh, jeez, I didn't even open that. Alright, yeah. Pause for the cause here. Gotta be the camera ring railings. I don't know if I actually get my desk. Alrighty. Okay. Yeah, so this is the one thing you use contrast paints and the way they go on, they basically are paint that goes on like its own, and it'll sit in the recesses, but it doesn't. It's a weird combination between a regular paint and a wash. So you put it on, and you put it on a lot in a lot thicker manner than you would put on paint normally. And it settles and gives you the effect of a wash. You'll probably be using it on the tabard thing when I do, because I'm going to do that in red. And the same thing with this brown. Right? So, do a kind of a dry brush pass on this as well. And the idea with washes and shades and stuff like that, you just kind of like it's a kind of a darken it down and then brighten it back up. Kind of idea. Because you can tell that's a lot darker than that. That's the same paint. That's just got the shade on it now. And so I'm going to go back over it. Dry brush. Pick up, kind of a heavy dry brush because you're trying to pick up most of the stuff and just kind of leave the wash in the recesses. So it's kind of it's kind of an in between of dry brushing and kind of repainting. And then totally out of brand. And then the dark brown, we get a finally dry brushing of the light brown we used on this on the other fur, and that fur. Oops, get the claw. The claw chooses. For my sake, there's a whole bunch of that down there. Get this again. So yeah, so and the lighter fur and the cape will get. Where's my finger? The lighter fur and the cape will get dry brushed with the color that we paint this leather, this tan leather. Back. And then probably probably a couple layers of dry brushing going on. Getting sounds like all the buttholes are out in the neighborhood tonight. Okay. Cats. Go back over that white and cover it up. Okay, well, since we now have to let the shade dry before we can do anything else, and since apparently from a couple things I can see I've already fumble fingered stuff around, I am going to, not probably, I'm going to call that paint stream for tonight. Not like a lot of my if you caught any of my magic. Whoa, hello. That was different. Okay. Huh. Alrighty then. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's weird. Just uh okay. Ah. Everybody watch my technical difficulties. That doesn't have the slider bar for Alright, I can adjust it in here, it doesn't matter. Okay, anywho, quite where it was, but that's good enough. For now, since we're stopping anyway. Um, anyway, like the rest of my stream, I'm trying to come up with a stream schedule to do stuff. Wednesday night might become the paint night. Plus, I might, interspersed in different places, but I'm gonna try and set up a regular schedule for this and with the other stuff I'm doing. So yeah, so now we have to wait for these washes to dry, and that's about a 40-minute process. And yeah, so I guess we're gonna go ahead and call that a paint stream. What time? Oh yeah, it's probably time for me to call it a day. Just in general. These return so definitely probably time to call it a day. All right, so thanks for watching. Anybody, if you're still out there, can catch the rest of you can if you missed me painting live. These will all get posted to YouTube. All right, so some call later. Yeah, like I said, it's just I'm gonna try and get a schedule going. And I'll try and get that posted up on the Twitch page. And if I do anything, it all ends up on YouTube, and you can find me at Papa Shark Gaming on YouTube as well. So let's do this like we know what we're doing. Um, so yeah. So good night, everybody. Take it easy and happy painting.